Hi,
Hey,
it's great to have you here.
thank you.
Can you tell us a little about yourself?
My name is Aparajita Misra, a music exec traveling the world with my better half for the past 5 years. I've been traveling across Europe, Southeast Asia, Middle East, discovering new cultures, geographies, making new friends, and of course, discovering new music wherever I go. I take at least two big trips every year, and it all started with Spain. In fact, Spain is the reason why I caught the travel bug and pretty much why we're doing this today.
Oh, that's interesting. So, how long should an ideal trip to Spain be?
Well, no amount of time is enough to explore what Spain has to offer, but I'd say visiting for at least 10 days to get a good glimpse of the country.
Oh, nice. So, Spain. Tell us more about your trip.
Trips, actually. I've been to Spain twice so far, and I'm planning to visit again very soon this summer.
Twice? Wow. When are you planning to go next?
In 2 months, actually, there's this insane music festival called Primavera Sound in Barcelona coming up, and I cannot miss it. But that's not all. I've never visited north of Spain, so I want to travel across Galicia and San Sebastián this time, if possible.
Amazing. And what was your first trip like?
So I was in college, third year, I think. So 3 of my best friends and I went for our first ever international trip, and now when I look back at it, we couldn't have gone to a better place. Oh man, what a trip. So because of me, everyone in my family now is a Barca fan. And my best friend is like 100% Real Madrid by blood. So yeah, it was a superb trip. We did Barcelona, Madrid and Ibiza, 10 nights, 10 best nights of my life. So the trip started from Barcelona. I could write a book about Barcelona and it still wouldn't be enough. So here's the thing, I love cities that are modern but also have an old world charm to them. It's like within a day you'd notice the city's urban planning as is and just wonderful. The entire city is divided into neighborhoods that are so well planned, following directions to any destination is smooth like butter. But what stood out for me was the Catalan culture. It's so vibrant, the people there are so wildly creative, they're passionate, and it's just really a good vibe to be around. And not many know this, by the way, but Barcelona is one of Europe's biggest hubs for fashion, and shopping streets are massive in this city. I remember when we went for souvenir scouting on our first day to La Rambla, yes, you can find the cutest little things to bring back home. And one of my best friends is a big-time shopaholic, so we also went to Plaza de Catalunya. It's a long street that has literally every designer brand. But the shopping didn't end there. My friends really wanted to walk an extra mile for the designer finds, so we took a day trip to La Roca village. I love shopping locally and I hauled some very nice dresses and jewelry there. Are you even into nightlife if you don't stop for a beer and tapas at one of the many bars in Barcelona? I mean, that's how you have a good first night in any city. And of course, the architecture, gosh, it feels out of this world. I absolutely lost my mind there. You have to visit La Sagrada Familia. It's the crown jewel of Barcelona. One of the many masterpieces by Antoni Gaudí, who's one of the world's most renowned architects. And since we fell in love with Gaudí's work almost instantly, we also explored Casa Batlló and Casa Mila. One word, magic. My friend is an art lover, so we obviously visited the Picasso Museum, and thank the gods I didn't skip it. Honestly, I was planning to. I was awestruck and so overwhelmed. Since then, I always make it a point to visit the famous art museums wherever I'm traveling. We also wanted to catch some marvelous views of the entire city, and our Airbnb host suggested we go to Tibidabo Hill, and oh wow, it's a core memory now. We just stood there overlooking the endless blue ocean, and it surely is something. The view from there gives you some perspective. And then there's Madrid.
What do you cherish most about the city?
It's nightlife, the bars, the tapas, the people, the energy.
Awesome. So, how was Madrid?
Like I said, Madrid's real essence lies in its intoxicating nightlife. You could be grabbing a drink at a 100-year-old family-run bar during the day and go to a rooftop bar hopping at night. On that note, the craft beer is to die for. A very kind bartender gave us ins on the best food spots in Madrid. We had already noticed that lamb and veal stews are really popular, but we were specifically recommended the Madrid stew, and no kidding, it was amazing. So here's the interesting part. It's served in 3 turns. First comes the noodle soup, and then there's chickpeas, and then some veggies with it. And finally, you get all kinds of meat: black pudding, chorizo, blood sausage, you name it. Meatballs, yes! We used to snack on meatballs all the time. This place called San Ynez, it's world famous for their churros with chocolate. So we of course didn't miss it. We couldn't plan one, but we got to know that the food tours are really popular in Madrid too. We really wanted to go to this bucket list spot, Cerro del Tío Pío. So apparently this sunset spot has the best views of Madrid, but we ended up going to Debod Temple Park instead because it was closer to our apartment and easy to access. And it was a lovely experience. I remember we slept early that day because I wanted to go on a day trip early morning the next day. We were indecisive between Toledo and Segovia, but we went with Toledo, which is a UNESCO heritage site, and it turned out to be a great trip. Toledo's cultural heritage is so rich, you can see spurts of it everywhere. The monuments, the food, and oh, another interesting fact, we found so many Lord of the Rings themed shops around the town selling swords and other memorabilia from the film. So I picked a little memento for my brother, who's the biggest Lord of the Rings fan I know. The town's Gothic architecture was marvelous. The Roman Alcazar was so impressive, and so was the Toledo Cathedral. Toledo is where I've had the best lamb of my life. The dish is called Cordero. You have to try it.
And what came after Madrid?
Ooh, fun, and some more fun in Ibiza. Ibiza is a whole different planet. It's not just an island, it's like this massive never-ending party. If you're an EDM fanatic, you've got to visit Ibiza between June and October because the world's topmost DJs play there then, and it's an experience words cannot explain. But there's a whole different side of Ibiza for people who don't enjoy partying that much. There's lots to do. We saw a dramatic sunset from Cala d'Hort Beach on the Esvedra Island, and I remember we took the stroll through Old Town where we ditched Google Maps and just kept walking down the cobbled streets until we actually got lost. Later, we realized we had crossed our destination by nearly a mile. Shopping in Ibiza is unforgettable. What an experience! And oh, there is this exciting hippie market, Las Delias in San Carlos, where you can find everything. Clubwear, beachwear, jewelry, art decor, some very cool souvenirs. And since my friend's always after an upmarket designer fashion haul, we went to La Marina. And here's the good part. So as you head towards the new town via Barra del Rey, the shops become more local and naturally harder to resist. From ceramic souvenirs to leather accessories, the options are unlimited. Ka-ching! Ibiza's got an exceptional food scene as well. Gastronomy is on another level. We heard a lot about flau from the locals. It's a type of tart made from sheep or goat's cheese, spearmint and anise. It was top tier. We had it with a glass of frigola, a local liquor made from wild thyme flower. Whatever you've heard about Ibiza is true. The hype is real. And I think that sums up my first international trip. Got lots more to say though.
And we've got a lot more exciting stories to hear, so tell us all about your second trip.
For my second trip, I ditched my friends and decided to go with my partner instead, and hands down, it was the best trip of my life. Even better than the first time. Girls, sorry, don't kill me please. Since we had already visited the iconic cities, we chose to go with a more offbeat approach here. So we traveled across Andalusia and the Canary Islands. It was quite romantic. The windry, secluded beaches, the natural hideouts, feels like everything is out there to impress you. We began with Seville. If you love nature and a nice mix of culture, Seville is where you need to be. The relaxed pace of life, the city's antique charm is captivating. Spain's most heartfelt celebrations of its annual festivals happen right there. But the best way to see Seville? Kayak down the Guadalquivir River. Just simply admire the Torre del Oro, which is an iconic military watchtower, and go through some magnificent bridges. Most of the bars are generally small with plenty of outdoor seating. Should be like this everywhere in the world, I to say. I remember we had the best time just lazing around at this cute corner bar, sipping Tinto de Verano, one of the tastiest drinks I've ever had. So it's basically just a mix of red wine and lemon soda, but wow, you'll find it anywhere and everywhere in Seville. Alright, so here's the thing. You can't say you've been to Andalusia without visiting Granada. Granada's super rich in history and culture. It has some of the best UNESCO heritage sites I've ever been to. So, 5 stars. Highly, highly recommended. The architecture's just majestic. Man, it's just everywhere. Alhambra, Tenerife, and Ibiza, these 3 iconic sites had us wondering and researching so much about the local history and heritage. The Moorish culture blends so well with the Andalusian landscapes. The view you get out of it is marvelous. And we definitely carried a lot of it back home. Like, we still sometimes have talks about the arches, the pillars, mind-blowing really. Another interesting thing in Andalusia are the white villages. Some of them are completely whitewashed. And I think we went to one of the most unique of them, Setenil de Legas Bodegas. All are pretty pictures taken there. There are huge rocks overhanging the town, and the town's literally built underneath these rocks. Gosh, I can't explain the beauty of this town. And there are many more of these whitewashed villages. Oh, we had a life-altering experience in the Canary Islands. There's so many places to visit there, and we made it a point to go all touristy here. The slow island life, breathtaking views of the ocean, unspoiled beaches, there's so much. We are both nature lovers, so we were sorted. But the culture though, the heritage factor of these places was equally attractive to us. We started with Tenerife, and thank God we spent a night there to stargaze from Mount Ede. Like, I still dream about the experience even now. Tenerife has crystal clear water, so it have been a shame for us not to try the water sports on the beaches. We snorkeled, windsurfed, and had so much fun doing it all. There are lots of Michelin star restaurants for you to try the local cuisines and enjoy the tropical vibes. Wine is very popular there, so you must try a glass or glasses. La Laguna is a town in Tenerife that we fell in love with. It's a small colonial town, but it's really big on art and architecture. If I'm not wrong, it's a UNESCO heritage site too. Oh, the churches, the cathedrals, the artsy streets, you can see the culture come alive everywhere you go. I distinctly remembered Plaza del Adelantado simply because it's cobbled square that has this beautiful marble mountain with some magnificent buildings surrounding it. Also, we hiked to the waterfall La Gomera, where we dived to reach the underwater world. That feeling is indescribable. It was so therapeutic. We swam with the shoals of fish and saw some unreal underwater landscape. Even today, I feel a sense of belongingness there, something I've never really experienced again. See, I'm getting goosebumps already.
So, are you traveling to Spain just for the music festival?
No, not really. I haven't been able to visit San Sebastián yet, and I've heard great things about the place.
Interesting. Great things like?
Like white sand beaches and narrow alleyways. Oh, some awesome sunsets. I have a cousin staying there, and he's given me a lot of hints on beautiful churches, the buildings, the extensive shopping markets, so I'm sure there's so much to explore. And the little birdie says they've got some really good beer and pinso.
Pinso?
Finger food, bar munchies. So pinso is pretty much tapas with a different name. So our Coruña's also in my plans for someday. The whole of Galicia actually. Our Coruña's has multiple UNESCO heritage sites. So that's something I'm definitely interested in. And I've seen photos of this very famous rainforest there. It literally looks like it's out of a fairy tale. Acha, so how much time do we have left?
I'd say -2 minutes.
Oh, we're done. Oops. You know, I could go on and on about Spain. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what my experience was like and what I would recommend to people watching. Thanks though, this was fun.